Welcome to the Open to Hope Show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my daughter and co-host,
Dr. Heidi Horsley.
This show is brought to you by the Open to Hope Foundation in partnership with the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross Foundation. Heidi, we're going to have a wonderful show today because we're going to be talking about widows, helping widows, and if there's anything I like, it's hearing that people are helping each other in the grief community.
Absolutely, Mama. We've got some great guests today. We are going to speak with Nargi and Roselyn Drake about the loss of their husbands, which inspired them to help widows through the W Connection.
Well, thank you, ladies, for being on our show today. Great to have you on.
Thank you for having us.
So now, talk about the W Connection. You want to start for us, Bob?
So the W Connection was started in 2009. It was started out of necessity. My co-founder and I realized that there was nothing out there for widows past bereavement. I became a widow in 2008, March of 2008. So, you know what, I always start my story in 2007. In 2007, my husband and I bought an apartment on the Upper West Side. We became pregnant. And in December, my son, William, was born. My son was born 2 months premature. And he stayed in neonatal intensive care for 1 month. In January 19th, he came out of neonatal intensive care. And my husband had been having pain throughout my entire pregnancy. And when my son finally came home and I was able to focus on my husband, I said, honey, you have to get to the doctor. Something's wrong. And when he went, we found out that he had cancer. It had already spread. And we thought they'd cure it. But he died 2 months later. My son William was 3 months old. So we're on top of the world. And then I became a new mom and a widow in March of 2008.
Wow. And then you found that there wasn't a lot of support for you?
Right. I found that there wasn't support. I got some advice early on to not go to a bereavement group until 6 months. So I followed that advice, and then for 3 months, and then I said I need something. And I did my bereavement work at Gilda's Club in Manhattan. And once I finished my bereavement group after a year, I realized there was still work to be done. I think that's when the hard work starts, when you realize, okay, I'm through the sadness, I'm through the fog, but now I realize I need to learn how to go on my own, how to raise my son on my own, how to live in my apartment on my own, how to walk the dog on my own. So all of that work that comes after the first year. And that's when we started the W Connection in 2009.
Roselyn, tell us a little bit about your story.
My husband, Bob, died in August of 2008, the same year. We were at the beach with my 6-year-old daughter on Labor Day weekend, which was something we did often. Down in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and I was sitting on the beach reading a book, and he'd been playing in the afternoon with our daughter. And I looked up, and they were playing, and I had talked to him about 10 minutes before and asked him to come out to lunch, and he said, no, let us play in the water. So I kind of went back into my book, and about 3 minutes later, I looked up, and my daughter was out in the waves, and he was just floating in the water.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
So it was kind of one of those horrific scenes where they dragged him out. My daughter was 6 at the time and was there, and he was not revived.
Wow. Did they think he had a heart attack, or they don't know?
Arrhythmia or a heart attack. We never really figured out exactly what it was, but whatever it was immediate and quick.
Now, did you two know each other then?
No.
So you both lost your husbands very suddenly, and you were both very young. To be widowed all of a sudden.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you know, Dawn and Ellen, our co-founder, got together, and they started talking about doing the W Connection.
W standing for?
The W standing is very interesting because when we first started the W Connection, we called it the W Project, and we said, you know, we'll name it something later. I think there was a lot of people very uncomfortable with widow. I wasn't uncomfortable with the word widow. I liked it better than single. Single felt more odd to me. So we named it the W Connection because it was that word that nobody wanted to be called. So the W Connection is about connection, and the W is for the word.
I like that. Okay. Nice.
So kind of simultaneous to Ellen and Dawn thinking about the W Connection, I had been an investment banker my whole career, and I struggled. I felt so vulnerable. I mean, he died suddenly, and the finances, things that I should know how to do, I was completely overwhelmed. And I started thinking about, oh my gosh, how must this be for somebody else? And started thinking about new widows and how vulnerable they must feel, and knowing that the rest of my life I wanted to devote to helping other women. And we ended up meeting coincidentally, the three of us, at my child's grief therapist's office.
Oh, wow.
And so tell us what you're doing with the W Connection now, what your plans are, hopes, dreams, all that kind of thing.
So we got very good advice early on from another nonprofit, and she said, do what you do well. She goes, and let other nonprofits do what they do well, because you're all working for the same cause. So
I like that so
much.
Because it's everything about connection.
Yeah, it was really great advice. And our premier service is our chapter meetings, our local chapters. And what we do in our local chapters is we bring widows together. I actually still facilitate the chapter on the Upper West Side. And we bring widows together to talk about topics that they're struggling with. So there could be a topic on grief. There can be a topic on loneliness, a topic on dating, or a topic on expanding their network. It's very similar. You know, sometimes I know I went to Weight Watchers for years, and it's very similar to that Weight Watchers meeting, where you come in, you talk about a topic that you're struggling with, and you walk away with strategies. And some of those strategies the facilitator has, but other strategies come out of the group. So that is our chapter meeting, and again, that's our premier service. And those are run by volunteers who want to start a chapter in their community. And we have 8 right now, with 2 more chapters on the way. We're very excited to be starting a chapter in California, in Northern California.
Where in California?
Northern California, East Bay. We have we have 2 here in New York.
Okay.
Yep, one on the Upper West Side, one on the Upper East Side.
Okay.
We have
3 in
Long Island, New Jersey, and Philadelphia.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, you know what I like that I'm hearing, that you have strategies that you're giving people, so there's takeaways they can take. And I also like the fact that you're talking to the women in the group, the widows, saying, okay, what's worked for you?
Right.
And helping them to come up, put their heads together and come up with strategies for people.
Right. We even got a great strategy. We did I did the topic on loneliness the other day, maybe like 3 months ago. And one woman said that, I have a strategy. She goes, I'm going to call each and every one of you on Saturday morning, so that when you wake up, you have a phone call that morning. I thought it was a great strategy. It was something, you know, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm having a good day, I'm having a bad day. So it was something that came out of just, you know, one of the women in the group.
And Roselyn, you were talking about you're in finance. You must be able to give people a lot of help about that.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, the important point I think to bring up is that we're not a bereavement group. We don't like to call ourselves a bereavement group. We're about kind of educating, empowering, and encouraging women, and I think most of all connecting them with each other. Because I think the power of connecting people that have gone through the same experience is just invaluable.
Well, thank you for watching our show today, and good luck to you on your journey. And Heidi and I always like to say, if you've lost hope, please lean on ours till you find your own, and God bless.